So I am renovating my wooden worktops, and today I am using some oxalic acid, which is a wood bleach, to try and bring up some of the water damage and the discoloured parts of my worktop. So I'm going to go through the whole process with you, show you what you need and exactly what I've done, and a bit of a before and after. So stay to the end if you want to see the finished results. First of all, this is the area that I am going to be treating. So it's all around the sink area, this area here and up here. So these are made of beech wood, and there is some areas of darkening and water damage all around here, some black all up here, a little bit there. But these areas are quite sort of dark and grey in here and a bit black, and I want to see if I can use the oxalic acid as a bit area down here, which is bad, and I want to use the oxalic acid to see whether I can bring up the colour, and actually I want to try and have it so that it looks more like oak than beech, so that it matches my other worktops. So these are the things that you need. I'm going to be wearing safety goggles and my gloves, and I've got old dirty sort of clothes on that I don't mind if they get dirty or mucky. You need an old paintbrush which helps to apply the oxalic acid over the area. I've got an old toothbrush which is actually just a value toothbrush that I got from Asda for 15p. A little bowl that is obviously not going to be used for food afterwards, and the oxalic acid. Now I got this from eBay through a company. It was $4.99 for 500 grams of the oxalic acid, so it was really cheap, and actually 500 grams is tons, and it is what they use to clean up water damage on boats. So it has a very good reviews online. So this is what I am going to be trying today. Now, just to say, this used to be oiled, and I think at some time in the past this was actually varnished, and I've spent some time sanding the whole area with quite a coarse grit and then going down to a fine grit, and then I've gone over the whole lot with some coarse and then fine wire wool. So I've really tried my best to clean it up, and in fact over this side I think it has come up quite well. So I'm just hoping that the oxalic acid's just going to lift it even more and make it look really nice. So let's get started. Now you need to just work quite quickly, and if your water is hopefully hot enough, then the oxalic acid will dissolve into your water, and your water will just look cloudy. And then quite quickly you need to get your oxalic acid onto your worktop area. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to use my old paintbrush, and I am going to start painting this on. And don't worry, yes, it will be very wet, but just start applying it to the surface and working quite quickly. And then what I do is I get my toothbrush and I just start having a gentle scrub of the areas, and if there are any dark areas, then I will spend a little bit more time on those areas and make sure that I've scrubbed them really well. But you need to be working while the water is hot. So I'm going to carry on and do that over the whole area. Right, just to give you an update, I have done all of this area. So I've put oxalic acid over this whole area, and then I've gone over with my toothbrush and I've been scrubbing it all. And following the instructions, what you do is then you leave it for 15 minutes to do its work. I must admit that I'm quite sceptical about whether this is going to work. So what I'm going to do is just give you a close-up of some of the areas that are pretty bad, and just see, give it 15 minutes, and I'll come back, film again, and you can see whether it's worked. So I'll just turn the camera around and show you now. Yeah, so around the tap area here, I'm kind of worried about whether that colour, the dark here, is going to lift, Also over here I've got some dark patches, I'm not sure about that, and also along down the edge of the draining board, and I've tried to put a load all along there and then scrubbed it, and we'll see if that comes up. Up here on this area I'm actually quite pleased because there were some rings where I'd had like a coffee cup up here, and I actually think they are well, I actually can't see where they are now, so I'm quite encouraged that this area is sort of a dark bit over here. Hopefully that will lift. But yeah, so I now need to leave it 15 minutes, and I've got to just leave it alone and try not to keep scrubbing or bothering with it, and just see if it works. So I will be back in 15 minutes to show you the results. Right, 15 minutes is past. I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. I think you can see, hopefully, that some of these areas have lifted quite a bit. So the next step is to rinse the whole area to get the oxalic acid off, and you need to rinse it 3 times to get it all cleaned up, and then I'm going to let it dry and I will show you what it looks like. So this is the final result. All those dark areas, all the grey areas have gone beautifully. So the next step is that I'm going to oil the surface, and I'm going to use tongue oil for that to bring out the colour. And I'll just show you here, that's the difference. So that's untreated, that's some water damage there and around the tap. But here obviously is where it has worked beautifully, and it's brought the wood to a really beautiful colour. So I think that's 10 out of 10, big success.